Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. Today and over the next month, I'm actually going to do something a little different, kind of go back to my old style of ways, and yet at the same time merge what I've been doing. And what do I mean by this? I am going to really share some personal stories that have happened over about a month and a half, and then I'm going to share what I learned from them. So it's going to be really my story and what I've learned, and then things you can do too if you find yourself in this situation, or just ways to love yourself more when life literally throws you curveballs or the poop hits the fan, or whatever word you want to use there. So get comfy and let's do this. Let's have a really personal, loving conversation about how life sometimes just doesn't go very well. And the theme this month is finding your way back to happy. And I really reached this point because of this wonderful pillow I have, and also this crazy life I've had experienced, like these events in my life that I'll share with you over the month. And I just was sitting with this a few days ago before recording, and I was reminded of my pillow that I have. And it says, happiness is not a destination, it's a way of life. Because over this month and a half, or give or take, I haven't really been counting, more just trying to get out of this rut I've felt I was in. Anyways, over this time, I was just like, wow, I really need to find my happy. Like, I know that happiness is within me. We can't find happiness outside of ourselves. But what happens when life keeps throwing you things and, you just keep batting them away, or, whatever, figuring out how to roll with the punches of life? Eventually, you just kind of get worn out. So I'm going to share some things with you today, and then, like I said, over the next month. So I want to start from the beginning, just so you can get a feeling or a sense of where I was coming from before life took a nice, crazy curveball to the poop zone. So in July, in my BU community room, which is an online group that I do, you can find it on my website, I set an intention every month. I go in and we, as a group, is very small right now as I'm recording this, but we're growing, and it's there for anyone that wants to have a safe, loving place to be themselves. And like I said, it's absolutely free to join. It's this beautiful place to have a group without having social media. So I really like that. I'm kind of trying to find a new groove in life that doesn't always revolve around social media, because I have a love-hate relationship with that. I love it and I hate it. So anyways, this was my way of giving back to the community by building this other new, beautiful, loving community around self-love and loving yourself. So anyways, every month I go in and I, share this idea of like setting an intention for the month. Now in July, because we're all busy in the summer, I decided to keep it simple and have everybody, I encourage people to pick a word of the month. And I included my own word, which was balance. Because I just know that in the summer, I can get lost in the fun with, hanging out with my kids, going to the beach, and just keep going without taking down time for myself. Like, I need a lot of alone time. I mentioned this before. I need a lot of me time. And in the summer, I don't get a lot of it. However, in July, like, I did it well, I have to say. There's times where I got busy and then I paused and I'm like, am I in balance? Like, my word really worked. It was really well. Anyways, so July, for the most part, went swimmingly, pun intended. So here I am. And then, July's, we're grooving. It's good. And then my mother-in-law was visiting near the end of July. So we kind of got a little busy there and a little out of flow, because I'm like, we need to clean the house. We need to get things situated. And then, because we didn't do a lot of spring cleaning, but that's a story for another day, because it's not important here. So anyways, we had a really great visit, and we were really busy because everything just landed on the weekend she visited, and we just were really having some fun things happen. So we were really, really busy, but it was fun busy. And then on Monday, I even planned that, I was going to have a me day, because even though she was still visiting, I was like, okay, I talked to my husband beforehand. I said, I know how I can get with a busy weekend, being out in public and being around different people and energy. I know how important it is to protect mine, that, and I now understand how I function per se. Like I'm still learning and everything every day, every month, every year isn't like I learn more about myself, but I really am understanding my energy. And I know that I can be out surrounded by people doing things, going to events. Like we went to a sand castle competition and it was so much fun. And then we did like Christmas in July. It was so, so much fun. But I don't realize how much energy is leaving my body and my being when I'm there because I'm having so much fun. I'm so much in the present moment. But at the same time, I'm not doing a check-in on my battery level, my energy level, right? Not doing a check-in. So I knew ahead of time to plan. So I did. Anyway, so we were really good. But even after that, even just having a day off after, like I just was feeling a little drained. After a balanced month, like I was rocking it. Anyway, so a few days after she left, my husband and I were in the living room. We were between like the kitchen living room. It's all open concept, standing at the back doors that lead out to our deck. And then my husband's like, what is this? Why is everything wet? I'm like, I don't know. Why is everything wet here? And we have 2 cats and, sometimes they throw up hairballs. Life happens and it's watery and stuff. But we're like, that's not it. This is more water. And it was coming in between the doors of our back deck. And we're like, what is this? And then we look up and it was coming from the ceiling. I'm like, okay, what's above that? It's our kids' bathroom. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So we go up and it was one of the pipes, the seal around there has given out. And we're like, oh my goodness. So anyways, we turned off the water and like of the faucet and like, okay, well, we're not using that until we can fix it. But the damage was already done, or at least a little bit, right? And we're like, oh man. Anyways, we're learning so much moving from Ontario to British Columbia in Canada because so much is different. We lived in a place like Kitchener-Waterloo that the water was hard. So instead of pipes starting to leak, we always seem to have things seize up on us because the water would just get hard and calcify things. So we're really learning here. Anyways, so we're like, oh man, like we're already tired from a visit. We just wanted to clean up the guest room, do the things that you do after you have company leave, and kind of get back into our sleep patterns and, all that stuff, find our groove. But instead, it was raining in our living room. Yay. Awesome, right? So that was that. And then actually throughout the time, we actually had 2 more leaks. I think it was a week later. My kids were up at one of them. I don't know which one it was. Didn't ask questions. But somebody flushed the toilet and it didn't go down. And I think it was a double flush. They're like, oh, it didn't go down and it didn't rise. So we're good. Let's flush it again. And then it overflowed. Well, by the time we got up there, because it's a distance to get up there, from the kids saying, hey, Mom, the toilet's overflowing. And I thought they've said this before and it was just like rising. So I didn't act as quickly as I probably could have. And now I'll know. But anyways, we had that and then another thing. But anyways, so there's a lot of leaks. And now we know every little thing in the, like, it's at that time of year where everything was replaced at the same time. And obviously everything is giving at the same time. Anyways, so that literally was my life at the end of July. And then the leaks, the other one was, like I said, a week later. And then we just had another one recently, like a month and a half later. Anyway, so what did I learn from this? What did I learn about this crazy disaster of a mess? To focus on the little wins. And you might be going, Jody, you're crazy. There is no wins here. Your ceiling was leaking. It was raining in your living room. But the thing is, it could have been worse. If the leak was a bigger leak, or, because it could have just been worse. And because when we got a person in to give us a quote, because we're like, oh my goodness, how much is this going to cost? And, what's going involved? Like, he goes, oh, this is nothing. I've seen so much worse. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness for little wins. And now we also know a really good drywall person when we need drywall help. So we're building up our little repertoire of people that can help us out when literally it's raining in our house. So it's these little small wins. It's focusing on these things. But seriously, I really thought, I was like, what? So with the first leak, we kind of handled it fairly well. We're like, oh, this is a bummer. But we just got to do the things that got to do. And thankfully, we didn't have the first one fixed before the second one happened. That was another celebration of small wins where, the other one happened. And then actually, when the living room happened, it didn't actually look that bad. We're like, okay, just a little staining. We fixed it. It was a pretty small one. But when the toilet overflowed, we're like, now we really need to seek help. So it was like, let's just do this. We've had leaks before. Our kitchen sink leaked. That was down in the playroom. So we've had these moments, but to have them happen a week out, it just felt like life was punching me. Take a hit, Jody, take another hit, and then here you go. However, you got to step back sometimes when life feels like that and be like, wow, wait a second. It could be worse. And then the other thing is just some people might be listening today and be like, man, it's a leak. It's no big deal, because we all have things happening in life and it's our perspective of the problem, right? There's people losing loved ones, wars happening in the country, in different countries. There's just so much happening. But when we are living in the problem, that problem feels really big to us. So it's stepping outside of that problem, that thing that we see as a problem, so we can find solutions. Because when you're living in the problem, it's really hard to see solutions. And this was just the beginning of my crazy journey of life hitting me down. So what can you do when the poop is hitting the fan? Like I said, take a step back. Get help. Ask for help if it's out of your wheelhouse. Get support. Have a drink. I'm kidding. Go for a walk. Whatever works for you. But take a break. Step away for a second to get clarity. Because everything, when you see something as a problem, that's all you'll see. And then look for little things you can celebrate. For another example is, now my kids know how to turn the water off at the toilet. So if it floods again, they got this handled. We are on. We're good. They know what to do. And it's okay, life lessons. We all learned something that day. And now we have a little bit better understanding of drywall fixing too. So we might be able to help or do things ourselves for future. Or if not, we know who to call. So it's just finding those little moments in life, the lessons you learn from the situation. Now, in that moment, you might not see the lesson. But then that's what I mean about stepping back. Give it a week, a 2, maybe a month. Like I mentioned before, my story began at the end of July, or I think it was early August, really, is when this whole leaking business started to happen. And as I'm recording this is in September. In full disclosure, it's September 25th. Because I like to record my episodes a little earlier. And in fact, I'm a little bit behind because it leads into next week's story of why I couldn't record right away. If you are looking for more joy in your life or a way to find your way back to happy, I have a free masterclass called Reclaim Your Joy. It's a self-love masterclass and it's free. And it just gives you little steps along the way. So if you need something more before you get into next episode, go to my website and get your free masterclass now. It's all on demand. You just sign up and you'll get instant access to it. And it's an audio masterclass. So there's no video or anything. You just click and listen, and it really helps you reclaim your joy. So I hope that helps. And next week, I get to share another story with you. And it's why I couldn't record the podcast earlier than this. And we're also going to be talking about letting go of expectations. Thank you so, so much for being here. I am so grateful for you. Thank you for listening. And if you love this episode, share it with others. And if you love loving me, myself, and life, please subscribe, share it. The world, we don't need to keep this a secret. Let the world know about us. Thank you again for being here, and I really appreciate you. Take care and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.